Greetings, my programmers. This is the first video I'm going to do while I am away, spending time with my family. We are going to do lesson 17 today on complex sprite movement. Let's go ahead and get started. So let's talk about the overview real quick. We are talking about learning how to combine velocity, the counter pattern, to create basically more complex sprite movement, such as one simulating gravity, making something jump, and allowing a sprite to float, left or right. Okay, let's go and get started. So the second bubble here is you using the counter pattern here. It's going to make the sprite move slowly across the screen. In this program, the counter pattern is being used with the sprite velocity x property instead. So what do you think will happen and why? Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the code. We're going to create a sprite 1. It's probably going to be a square. It's going to be at 15,200. So 5,200 is going to be 50 and 200 somewhere around here. It's going to be the middle of the screen, about a quarter way through. So you're probably going to have a square that starts about here. And then it says sprite 1 velocity x is going to equal to the sprite 1 velocity x plus 0.1. So basically, it's increasing the velocity by 0.1 every single time the draw function is running. And then it's going to redraw the background to white. Okay, and then it's going to draw the actual square. So basically, we call this the counter pattern because it always gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So I think what's going to happen is that it's going to start out slow and then starts to accelerate faster and faster and faster. Okay, so you're going to write something along those lines. You're going to write the square is going to start at the left middle of the screen and move to the right with accelerating speed. Accelerating speed. So increasingly, there you go, increasingly accelerating or accelerated speed. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if my prediction is correct. And there it is, right? So it goes faster and faster and faster. It's just like how a car goes. It goes from start and then slowly accelerates up. So that's what it does. Let's go bubble number 3. So in bubble number 3, we're going to use velocity x property and the counter pattern to change the speed. This makes the sprite speed up. Do a little practice on your own. So this program already makes a car move across the screen, but it's going very slowly. So we're going to use the counter pattern with the sprite velocity x property to make the car speed up. So just like the previous bubble, we're going to increase the speed. So we're going to go car dot velocity x, right? That's how we're making it go faster to the right, and that's what the directions say. And we're going to use the counter pattern. So basically, we're going to use the previous value of velocity x of car and then add some value to it. So let's just give it 0.1. Okay. So basically, whatever car velocity x is, we're going to increase car velocity x by 0.1. Let's see, did I spell everything correctly? Velocity x is equal to car velocity x plus 0.1. So I don't see anything misspelled here. Oh, they don't like 0.1. Sometimes I like 0.1, and that will get rid of the yellow triangle. Let's go ahead and hit run. And just like the square, it's getting faster and faster. Now, obviously, if you make the number bigger, let's say 0.2, it's going to go accelerate even faster off the screen. Okay, so it's just basically increasing the speed. Now, actually, what I want you guys to try when you guys are making your game is to add this car velocity. So car.velocity x to our watch window. Okay, so add that to our watch window, and you can see at the end of this how fast it's going. So we'll restart the game, and it says undefined, and it's going to start out really small and get faster and faster and faster, right? So the car is really going fast now. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next bubble. All right, and make sure you guys hit finish when you guys are done, obviously. Okay, so in bubble number 4, we're going to talk about falling rock. The rock should speed up as it falls down the screen. Can you use the same counter pattern velocity y inside the draw loop to make the rock go faster and faster as it falls? Use the counter pattern on velocity y instead. Okay, so if you're thinking about it, the rock is probably going to start like this, right? But it's not moving like gravity, right? So gravity would definitely make this rock drop faster and faster and faster. So we're going to change that. So it's going to be the same type of code. We're going to go rock velocity y. It's going to equal to rock velocity y, meaning the previous value of rock velocity y, plus some value. So let's just make it go 0.2 or something. And they like 0.2. So this goes 0.2. So basically, I'm just going to make the rock go faster and faster and faster. And voila. Okay. And but that doesn't even look that real. That looks kind of too slow at the beginning. So maybe we do something like 0.5. And I think that's even slow too. I think it's even faster than that. And let's try like 0.8. Right. I think it's even bigger than that. It's probably quicker than that. But you know, try to get a good realistic look of what gravity would do when the thing falls down. All right, so let's go to bubble number 5. In bubble number 5, this program makes the bubble rise up the water. So we have a bubble here, and it's not really moving that fast, right? Bubbles move much faster. So can you make it get faster as it rises? So use the counter spread on y, but make the bubble move up quickly. So remember, when the y value gets smaller, right, negative values, it moves up the screen. So we're basically going to use subtraction instead. So we're going to use bubble dot velocity y is going to be equal to bubble dot velocity y minus some number. So let's go minus 0.5. Okay. So let's go ahead and see what this looks like. Okay. And there you have it, right? And obviously you can change the number however you like, but obviously the bubble is just supposed to go up faster and faster and faster. All right, let's go to number 6. All right, and number 6, slowing things down. So now that you had some practice speeding things up, let's see if we can slow them down. The car is going to run into the water. Or the car is going to run into the water, okay? You need to use a counter pattern to slow it down. So use the sprite.velocityx block with the counter pattern to slow the car down by 0.25 as it moves across the screen. Discuss with your partner. What do you think will happen when the car finally stops? So let's go ahead and write the code. We're going to make it slow down. So basically, whatever the velocity is, we're going to slow it down. So car.velocityx is going to be equal to car.velocityx. Instead of speeding it up, we're going to slow it down. So we're going to use some type of subtraction. So let's go ahead and subtract it by, I don't know, 1. Okay, because right now it's starting at 10. And then it's going to come down to 9, and then 8, and then 7, and then 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But if you're going to predict what's going to happen, is there anything in this code that prevents it going to a negative number? And the answer is no. So no matter how slow I slow it down, eventually it's going to go this way, and then it's going to come back. So let's make fun. Let's go try something different. Let's try 0.5. So let's see if we can get to go to the water and back. Oh, not quite. So I slowed it down too much. Let's try to slow it down less and see if we can get it to get really close to the water, right? I don't know. Let's try 0.1. Oh, it passes it, and then eventually it's going to come back. See? So if you really want to keep track of this, again, we can use the watch window. So we type in right now car.velocityx in here, you can see when it turns around. Okay, so add that plus sign here. So we're going to hit reset. So it starts out at 10. It still is going to the right, and then slowly starts heading its way back, right? And there you have it. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to bubble number 7. Okay, in bubble number 7, we're going to simulate gravity. So just like the last one when we slow the car down and using the counter pattern velocity x, it almost looked like the car was getting pulled back to the left. So if you use the same pattern of velocity y, you might able to be pulled down, which is exactly what gravity does. So let's say you're throwing a rock into the air, but it never falls down. Well, we're going to use velocity y block with the counter pattern to make the rock slow down and then fall in the other direction. So let's go and experiment with a couple of values until you feel like you're doing just what looks most realistic, okay? So this rock never really comes down, right? So with your partner, you're going to discuss why are you setting the rock's initial velocity outside the draw loop? Why is changing the sprite's velocity inside the draw loop? So let's go ahead and figure out why this is outside. So the rock velocity is -10. If you put it outside the loop, it only gets assigned -10 one time. If you put it inside the loop, every single time the loop redraws, it's going to reset it back to -10. So basically we put this in here, the rock will never stop going up, right? So, but when we update it, we do want to update here. So what am I doing here? I'm going to go rock dot velocity y, and it's equal to rock velocity y. And now think about this. Am I trying to what? Make the number go to 0 and then go the other direction. So I'm obviously going to what? To get to 0, I'm going to need to add. So you're just going to add a number. So I'm just going to try some number in the middle, like 0.5. And let's see if it looks realistic. Okay, maybe too much gravity, right? So let's go, I don't know, let's go 0.3. Let's try like something like 0.2. Right. Now, does a rock really stay up in the air that long at its tip before it comes down? So I don't think that's realistic. So let's just try some other numbers. I think 0.5 look actually pretty realistic, actually. If you hit run, it kind of comes up and falls down. It might even be faster, to be honest with you. Let's try something like let's try 1. You're going to throw a rock, and it's come right back down at you. Okay? Maybe a little bit too much. It's maybe 0.7. That looks right, right? So, and they don't like 0.7, they're like 0.7. Anyway, maybe we throw the rock a little bit harder. Let's throw the rock a little harder. Let's go like -20. Okay, throw the rock really hard and then see how it slows down. Right? I kind of like that. That looks kind of real to me. That looks good. Okay. All right. So let's go and go into the next bubble. So in this particular bubble, we're going to try to simulate jumping. Increasing a sprite's y velocity inside the counter loop can simulate gravity. By adding user interaction, you can make your sprite appear to jump as well. So for starters, you can make a simple jump and then make it more realistic looking in the next level. So let's go ahead and do this. A sprite already has been created for you, and it falls, right? So because its y velocity is increasing inside the draw loop, just like right here, right? It's falling down. You need to make the sprite appear to jump. So inside the if statement, the if block, that is this one right here, check whether the up arrow has been pressed down. So set the sprite's gravity to 0.5. So if block checks whether the up arrow has been pressed, sets the sprite value to 0.5. So discuss with your neighbor. Why does the code run the way that it does? How would using a number besides -5 affect the way the code works? How could you jump higher or lower? Just go ahead and do this. So if key went up, right, the key up is being pressed, we're going to set the y velocity to -5. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's go sprite. Oh, wait. Sprite is character in this example, right? So character dot velocity y is going to be equal to, because that's how we set something, right? We set the value or assign the value to -5. So now if we hit reset and run the program, if you hit the up key, it's going to look like it's kind of jumping and then falling again and then jumping. And what if I hit it twice and twice, right? So now this kind of comes like a Flappy Bird game here, right? You hit the up key, it kind of shoots up, okay? So basically, let's go ahead and hit reset. Let's go ahead and watch this variable, okay? So in our code, so I can give you guys a little bit more easier view on the code. If I type in character dot velocity y, we can kind of see what's going on. Okay, let's go ahead and add that. So right now it's undefined, right? I'm gonna hit the run, and you can see the value drop. But if I hit the up arrow, it goes back to -5, and slowly goes back to being a positive number. So I can go -5, go back to -5, go back to -5, go back to -5. But no matter how many times I do it, eventually the number will get bigger and bigger and it will drop down. I can work my way up again, right? So every time I hit the up arrow, it goes to -5. And that's how this works, okay? All right, let's go and go back to the flyer game on bubble number 9. So in bubble number 9, it says use the counter pattern with the sprite's y velocity again to simulate gravity and jumping. If you use the sprite's x velocity in the counter pattern, then you can make your sprite float from side to side as well. So in this level, you're going to make your sprite start floating to the right when the right arrow is pressed. So add an if statement inside your draw loop below the one that you created already for the up. Then use the key down block to make the if statement respond to the right arrow. So use the key down block to make the if statement respond to the right key arrow. Okay. Inside the if statement, you're going to change the velocity x to add it by 0.1. Okay. So we're just going to make an if statement. And what condition or what Boolean expression are we looking for? We're looking for key down. Okay. And key down expects a argument. In this case, the argument is the up key. Okay. And what happens when it's true? Well, when it's true, we're going to update the sprite's velocity x by increasing that by, in this case, I'm sorry, it's not a sprite. We have a character. That's the name of the sprite. Character.velocity x is going to be equal to character.velocity x plus some number. And in this case, we're going to add 0.1. So we're going to come here and add 0.1. And hit run. So basically, if I hit up, it's going to float to the right. Okay. And oh, wait, I'm sorry. This program says when the player hits right. So don't make it up, it's right. So fix this. It's supposed to be to the right only. Okay, my mistake. So let's go ahead and run again. So if I hit the up key, the little bot is going to keep floating, right? But if I hit the arrow, the right arrow key, it's going to go a little bit to the right. Right? You can see it's going a little bit to the right and slowly going to the right. If I keep hitting the right arrow, it's going to speed up and fly off faster. Okay. So let's go ahead and go to the next bubble. So now we're going to float left, right? So if the last one, we, give us some instructions on how to make it float right. This time you need to make it float left on your own. We should be pretty comfortable now, and it should be exactly the same code. So add code to your draw loop that will make the sprite move to the left when the left arrow is down. Make sure you're using the velocity and the counter pattern together. So to save ourselves time, we're going to copy the code we did in the previous bubble, paste it using Control-C and Control-V. But this time we're going to change right to left, and instead of adding 0.1, we're going to subtract 0.1. And let's see if we run our code and see what works now. So I have this bot. I'm going to hit the up arrow to make it float more. make it float more. And I can hit the left arrow and hold it down even and have it go to the left. And I can even hold the right button, and eventually you're going to see it. You're going to see it somewhere. Or maybe not. We're not going to see it. Maybe it's up or down and I can't see it. So let's go ahead and actually add some debugging code to help us out. So I'm going to go to the debug window here. And let's just keep track of the characters X, right? And the characters Y. So we can kind of keep track of where it's floating, okay? So hit run. You can see it's about 200, 200, right? That's the center of the screen. And I can go left and have it float all the way out here. And now it's like on the bottom of the screen here. And it's kind of too high now. It's going to float back down. Okay, I can go to the right now. Or is something wrong with my code? If key down left. Did it want us if key down left? Yeah, it's not going to let us go back. So this is not going to code. It's not going to work. Once it goes left, if I hold down right, if I hold down left, if I hold down right. So yeah, it looks like it works. I can go left and right, but it gets pretty hard to kind of go backwards. Once you're kind of off the screen, it really doesn't seem to let you go back down. Oh, it does. It lets you go back down, but it's going to take a while to kind of get back up. There it was. You can see my guy kind of flying around. It's really hard to control the speeds once it kind of goes off your screen. Okay, but it's a game. Okay, let's go ahead and go bubble number 11. So in bubble number 11, we're going to add a coin. In the next level, you're going to make it a simple game. So the player is going to collect the points, increase their score. There's a good chance to see how the kind of movements going to help give it a feel, and will also help us when we're practicing our skills. So in this one, looks like we're going to use the same bot, right? But we're going to create a sprite and give it a coin. And then we're going to give it an X or Y value and some random number between 0 and 400. In the animation tab, there's already a coin animation. Use it for your thing. So basically, we're going to create a coin and put it in a random location. Okay. So we're going to do this at the top. When we're making sprites, we're creating variables. We should all make it on the top. So just call it a var coin, and we're going to create it. And let's go ahead and not put it right on top of the character. So let's just make it, some initial position. Let's make it the upper left. Okay. But it's not going to matter because what we're going to do is we're going to change the location of it anyway. And we're going to set the animation. So don't forget to set it. Otherwise, it's just going to look like a square. So set animation. And we're going to go coin. Right. So now I created a coin on the upper left. You kind of see it right there on the upper left here. But the code says we're going to change the value in a random position. So as soon as I draw my background sky blue, I'm going to go ahead and create a random location. So coin.x and coin.y are going to be equal to some random number. So it's not like the counter pattern. We're going to give it some random number. So we have a function called random number, and it takes the minimum value and the maximum value. So this goes 0 to 400. And we're going to do the same thing here. It's going to be some random number between 0 and 400. And let's see if now the coin randomly appears. Oh, that's a problem, right? I'm giving it a random number, but it's doing it inside the draw loop, which makes it flash all over the place. Now, this might be useful later, but I don't think that's what the point is. The point is to make the coin somewhere random so that the bot has to fly to it. So I think I actually made a mistake. Let's go ahead and copy this code, Control X to kind of cut it. And actually, let's go ahead and put it right here. And let's, at the beginning of the game, give it a random location. Okay. And actually, thinking about it now, I don't really actually even need this code. Okay. What I could do is just actually use the random number instead of 0. So instead of giving the initial value of the upper left corner, just give it a random number between 0 and 400. And instead of giving it a 0 value for y, let's also give it a random number between 0 and 400. This will make our code work all in one line. Okay, so I don't even need this code anymore because I already put it here. So now look at it. It's going to spawn at a random point. If I hit reset again, it's going to spawn somewhere else. If I hit it again, it's going to spawn somewhere else. If I hit it again, it's going to spawn somewhere else. If I hit it again, it's going to spawn somewhere else. If I hit it again, it's going to spawn somewhere else. Okay, so now we got that working. And all in one line of code. Let's go to line number 12. All right, in number 12, we're going to reset the coin. So if the character touches the coin, we want to reset it somewhere else. So do an if statement, and if the coin is going to touch the character, we're going to give it a new random number. Okay, so inside the if block, make it a random between 0 and 400. Okay, so it turns out the code that we wrote before actually works. So maybe if I can Control V, I think I still have the code. Nope, I only have the code for that. So now I'm going to pretty much put the code back to what I had. So coin.x is going to be equal to a random number between 0 and 400. I'm going to copy that and paste it and use y now. So basically, this is going to make it random. But I only want to do this when the coin touches the character. So I need to make an if statement. If coin, or in this case character, if the character is touching the coin, do these 2 lines of code. If I have anything more than 1 line of code, I have to use the squiggly brace and the end squiggly brace. And just for good habit, I should tab this in. So these 2 code will run if the character is touching the coin. Well, I need to go now and touch the coin. Ooh. Oh, go to the right, go to the right. Oh no, I made it too high. Jump down, jump down. Oh no. And there you go. And now we have a simple game where your goal is to collect the coins. Okay. The only thing we probably need to do next is to give it some type of value, some score, right? Keep track of your score. Okay, let's go ahead and hit reset. So let's go ahead and go to bubble number 13. Okay, and this is the last part. So now that you have the basic mechanics of your game, it's time to make it your own. What do you want to happen? Should the character get points every time it collects a coin? Can you add a scoreboard like you learned in the last lesson? Do you want to make another coin? What about a bad coin that takes away points? Make at least one improvement to your game and be prepared to share your answers. So, you're welcome to make as many, optimizations as you want, but let's go ahead and try almost all of these so I can give you kind of examples that you might want to use. So the first thing we do, let's go ahead and create a score. So let's do a var score. So var score is just a variable, and we're going to probably set it equal to 0 when the game starts. Okay. When the game starts, we're going to give it a text, right? We're going to show the score somewhere in the upper right-hand corner. So after the background is drawn, let's go ahead and draw the score. So let's see and remind ourselves how the text command works. So the text command has a string, an X, and a Y. So what string are we going to put? Well, we're going to use the score. And where do we want to put the score? I don't know, somewhere in the upper middle. So let's go, I don't know, somewhere like this. Because remember, this uses the lower left of the text. So let's go, I don't know, somewhere around here. Let's go 150 and 20. Let's see how that works. 150 for X and 20 for Y. And then just test and see if we like where score is being there, right? And, And we can go ahead and change the text size maybe. If I remember correctly, it's like text size. Yep. I wonder if text size is a property. Let's see if it's a property. Let's make it 20 pixels big. And let's see if that works. Nope, they didn't like that. Text size. Let's see, where is text? Let's see, text. Where is text? There it is. So text size. Text size is a function. Okay, so it's not a property, it's a function. So we're going to put it in parentheses, and let's say 20. Okay, so let's see if we like it better now. Okay, so the score is right here. And maybe what we want to do is actually have the word score. So all we have to do that is just add the literal string called score. And you guys remember this right here. If you add a text to a number, it will make a text and a number together as one text. So let's see now. Okay, so score is equal to 0, right? Maybe we'll add a little space bar in here. So that makes it look like that. Okay, and it looks pretty centered here, pretty close here. And let's see now. So maybe we want to make the score go up when the player touches the coin. Well, we already have an if statement here that if the player touches the coin, we're going to increase the score. So how do we do that? We use the counter pattern. Score is equal to score plus 1. And now when we play our game, if we touch the coin, it's going to increase the score. Okay. Working pretty good here. Where'd my guy go? Where'd I go? Oh, there I was. I'm going to drop down now. Okay. I'm not dropping down. Okay. So maybe we will want to do a few fixes to our game here. Maybe our guy flies a little bit too high when we hit the up button. So maybe we'll do, I don't know, maybe 0.3 or something, or -3, and make it, not jump as crazy. So it makes us hover just a little bit more easy to manage. Okay, it seems like every time we jump, we're like jumping way high. Okay, this looks a little bit more manageable. Okay, all right. So what other improvements can we do? What else do they suggest here? What do you want to happen? Should the character get points every time it collects a coin? Can you add a scoreboard like you learned in the last lesson? We did that. Do you want it to make another coin? So we can add 2 coins if we want, and that could also be pretty easy for us to do. What about a bad coin to take away points? So let's go ahead and actually add a bad coin just to make our, actually let's do both. Let's go ahead and add another coin. So how do I add another coin? Well, I'm going to use exactly the same code I did for the first coin. So I'm going to make another coin, and I'm just going to call it coin 2. So I'm going to change this to coin 2. It's going to look like the other coin. It's just going to be called coin 2. And the only other code I have here is this 2 lines where if I grab the coin, it's going to increase my score. So, but this one, I'm going to do everything for coin number 2. So I'm going to copy this code. So I'm going to basically repeat the code, but I'm going to change it to coin 2. And the score still goes up by 1, right? So basically I copy the same code. So if I grab coin 1, it does this. If I grab coin 2, it does this, which is basically the same game, except now there's 2 coins to grab instead of 1. And now there's 2 coins you can try to grab. Okay, and it's becoming more like a game here. Now obviously you can add even more coins if you want, right? And the game gets more crazy. Okay, but this is kind of still easy, right? Because eventually we're going to keep grabbing coins. Let's go ahead and try to implement a bad coin. All right, that's cool. Let's make a bad coin. So let's go var coin 3, or let's call it bad coin. Okay, and let's go use the exact same code. It's going to create it, right? It's going to make a bad coin in some random location. And let's see if we can give it a different sprite. Let's see if they give us something already. So I'm going to set the animation just like I did over here, except I'm not going to use coin because that's kind of bad, because the good coin will look like the bad coin. Let's see if there's anything else I can do. Oh, I can't make a bad coin. There's no animation for it. Let's go ahead and go to animation tab. Let's have a little fun. Let's go to animation tab, and I'm going to take the coin here. I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to call it the bad coin. Okay. And let's go ahead and give it a color. I don't know. Let's go. I think there's a color filler in here somewhere. Bucket tool. Let's go paint all pixels of that color. So let's go ahead and use this bucket tool, or let's see, paint all pixels of the same color. Okay, sure. I'm gonna pick the color. I'm gonna pick it red or something. Okay. So if I do this, it's gonna paint anything that had that color red. And I'm gonna go to this one. Oh no, I don't want that one. That one, I don't know why I didn't do it to everything. There we go. Something like that. So now here's my bad coin. It looks like a red version. Very scary. Don't touch me. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and be done. All right. That's all we need to do. So let's go over here and now let's go ahead and use our bad coin animation. So I'm going to type it in there. Get rid of those extra spaces. So now I create a bad coin. And the bad coin kind of pretty much has the same code as this one, right? Because when you touch it, you want to change the red coin somewhere else. But instead of adding a score, you're going to subtract a score. So I'm just going to copy and paste this. I'm going to take this, Control Copy or Control C, and Control V to paint or to paste it. But instead of coin 2, I'm going to call it the bad coin. I'm going to change this to the bad coin. I'm going to change this to the bad coin. And the last part, instead of adding a +1, I'm going to take away 5 points if you ever touch the red one. And now let's see. Now the game becomes a little bit harder because now I have to try to get points without losing points and not to lose myself off the map. Oh no, I lost points. Okay, so now the game becomes a little more challenging because now you have to go get the coins without getting the red coin. So now the game becomes much harder. Okay, now if you want more of a challenge, maybe you'll say, okay, try to get to 100 points. So if you get to 100 points, you end the game and you say game over or something like that. Okay, and we'll teach you how to do that if when I come back if you can't do it by yourself. Okay, but you can see now the game becomes much harder when you add a bad coin. Because getting coins is pretty easy, but avoiding the bad coin is much harder. Okay, and that kind of ends the lesson, guys. So good job if you guys got through the lesson. Let's see if there's any final remarks I want to make right here. Okay, so you guys learned how to do things like going up, how to go down. Now, if you guys ever forget some of this when you're making your real game, this is a very good reference, a really good place to help you find information. Okay, we talked about how to go left. We talked about how to go right. We talk about how to slow down. So it's like mimic gravity here. Okay, how to make things go right faster and then eventually go back. Stopping your sprite. So maybe like slowly hitting the ground, right? Stopping it. So these are some of the few examples to help you really understand how these things work. Okay, and that will complete our first interactive lesson.